Peace, peace, peace. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let's see. Um, I got a sense of direction where I want to go, but I don't really know how to approach it. So we just gonna kind of wing that thing. We want to get the window or the entire screen. Let's go with the window. Let's go with R&D first. Also share system audio. Yep, let's do that. There we go. All right. So go to my group first. Want to get into some supernatural paranormal stuff. I know I was sharing stuff over here in my group. I remember sharing some content on like death related stuff. I know I was sharing a lot of other stuff too. So let me make sure. Peace, 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 peace. Let me make sure my audio is good. Just the just the blunts. Yeah. No black. Right. Hopefully the audio is good. Where we at? R&D right here. So I was sharing a lot of Epstein stuff to go over on another platform. But I did. Was it in here? Right. I seen this article here. See if we can go to this link. Experts are shedding light on the death rattle phenomenon forecasting. What is a death rattle? According to medical news today, a death rattle is caused by changes in the breathing patterns and the buildup of secretions in the throat. Hospice, hospice nurse Julie, an expert An expert in end-of-life care describes this sound. This is just a collection of small bits of saliva in the back of the throat that just sounds really bad. The death rattle was medically known as terminal secretions. Think that chat. Okay. What if the death rattle sounds like? Juliet, the fever is also climbing during this stage. We lose the ability to control the core temperature, so our temperature will fluctuate at the end of life. Again, all of this is normal and the path of death and dying process if you are dying naturally at home. What does the death rattle sound like? The death rattle occurs when a person's ability to swallow diminishes, allowing secretion to build up in the respiratory tract. The sound is often described as a crackling wet noise that grows louder with each breath. So I guess it would sound like they would be like wheezing almost. Some describe it as a faint groaning or snoring sound, while others liken it to a loud gurgling noise. Despite its alarming nature, it's important to note that an individual is not experiencing pain or discomfort during this process. Sorry, I got all wrapped up here in my bracelets. Research shows that the average lifespan after the onset of the death rattle is around 25 hours. However, the process tends to last longer for those receiving hospice care from hospital patients. What can you do to ease the death rattle noise? While the death rattle is a natural part of the dying process, there is no way to reduce its intensity. To comfort those nearby, turn the person onto their side to allow secretions to drain, raise their head slightly to promote drainage, moisten their mouth with damp swabs to keep it hydrated, use suction to remove secretions when appropriate, limit fluid intakes to prevent excessive secretion, administer medications designed to clear secretions as prescribed by medical professionals. It is important to understand that while these measures can help reduce the noise, they won't likely eliminate it entirely. Okay, so we learned something new. We learned about the death rattle, which is medically known as terminal secretions. So the more you know, the more you know. But this is just one of the articles that I found in relation to death and the afterlife. And this is another one I was watching. Let's go in with this one.
How do they know which ashes to put in which box? And then I realized, oh, fuck, they don't know.
Tell me about your multiple cremations.
Sure. Well, back then, because of the multiple cremations, see, I could cremate one guy in like 2 hours, or you could put 10 of them in there and take 2.5 hours.
10 people in that
what would
small
be the
space.
difference?
Hey.
There is none. Hard-hearted as that sounds, there is none. To me, commingling of ash is not a big deal.
That's beyond commingling.
I don't put any value in anybody after they're gone and dead, as they shouldn't when I'm gone and dead. That's not a person anymore.
Cold as ice.
Did you worry about getting caught?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I worried about, because like I said, it was a misdemeanor at the time. And I stupidly justified it by saying, it's a misdemeanor and nobody cares about these people anyway.
What about a person who really loved that person and their expectation is that you're just going to deliver their loved one back to them?
You know what? There's no difference in anybody's cremated ash. There's no difference. It's potash and lime. That's it. A little bit of carbon, and it's all the same. People just got to be more in control of their emotions, because that's not your loved one anymore.
That is
and it never has
wild
been.
For him to even
Love
say
them
that.
when they're here.
People just need to
Period.
get over there. People just need to get their
How do
emotions
they know
in check. And
which
the fact
ashes
that
to put
10
in
people
which
can
box?
fit in that furnace thing.
And then I realized, oh, fuck, they don't know.
Tell me about your multiple cremations.
Sure. Well, back then, because of the
If someone chase you in your dreams and you
I
avoided
strongly
something.
think that that's illegal in some sense. Adrenal gland. So this post I did share in relation to cultural death, the death around the world, how um the Haitians look at death and how they revere the death spirits there. Let me see if I can read out loud. I'm gonna try. It says in Haitian voodoo, the Gede, the spirits of the dead, spirits of our ancestors who have become Gede. They are not gloomy, silent, or distant. The Gede teach us that death is not the end of life. It is the continuation of truth. They rule the crossroads between life and death, pain and pleasure, grief and laughter, and endings and rebirth. The Gede laugh because they have crossed over and know what survives. But to the Gede, death is initiation, not punishment, not fear, but a transition. They remind us that everything dies, illusions, suffering, false identities, etc., so that truth can live. They teach us to honor and respect the dead, the ancestors, to speak their names, and to understand that ancestral protection does not end at the grave. Death strips away lies. That is why the Gede are honest, sometimes uncomfortably so. But the Gede also teaches us sex is life force, not shame. Gede governs sexual energy because sex is creative force, regeneration, and survival. Sex is how life continues. Trauma is alchemized and how vitality is restored. They reject shame around sexuality, not because it is crude, but because life force must always, um, excuse me, but because life force must move to stay alive. To the Gede, repossession is more dangerous than desire. The Gede laugh in the face of death because laughter is ancestral medicine. In voodoo, laughter breaks spiritual stagnation, releases fear, and calls the soul back into the body. They joke, tease, and speak bluntly because truth lands easier when the spirit is light. Laughter also keeps you alive when grief tries to consume you. The Gede are fierce protectors too, especially of children, the vulnerable, the disrespected dead, and those who walk with honesty. They expose spiritual fakery, fake practitioners, predators, and hidden harm. They also guard graves, bloodlines, and boundaries. Do not mistake their humor for weakness. The dead see everything. The Gede says, live fully, love boldly, laugh loudly, respect the dead, and do not fear what we already know. Voodoo is not about fear. It is about relationship, remembrance, and respect. Death is not the opposite of life. Silence is. Mm. This is for teaching and educational purpose early. Early. Only, excuse me, not initiation and not an invitation. And the picture they had for that was very bomb ass. I wish y'all could have saw it, seen it. So I brought this content over here. The 45 greatest songs dedicated to the dead. It's 45 of them. All right. Let's read the caption. Okay, well, that's pretty much all it said in the caption. So let's go. We're not going to go through all 45. But let's just kind of zoom in and take a look at the list. I think we're just going to go through all 45. So I see we got some R&B artists up there, you know. We got some rap artists up there, pop artists, Boys the Men, Bone Thugs, Diana Ross, R. Kelly, DMX, Master P, Brandy, Rod Wave, the Isley Brothers, Aaron Hall, Scarface, more R. Kelly, Cuban Links, Jadakiss, the Jackson 5, Ice Cube, Men at Large, T.I., Justin Timberlake, Genuine. Like, you have some really good artists that really put up some really good songs about the dead. And I know I had skipped over it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Um, a Diddy, I'll be missing you, because you know I'm saying, like, that was in our era in the early '90s. That was one of the greatest songs dedicated to the dead in the early '90s. But I'm sure that list can be a little bit more extensive. Let's go to the comments. Let's see if anybody have any others to add. Somebody said, okay, well, the author said, my apologies for leaving out Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Yes, TROY, Troy, off the list. Just great comments that made me realize the song was dedicated to a lost loved one. Night Shift was by the Commodores. I believe I heard that. Somebody said, no Biggie, missing you. I'm missing you. I think that was on Diddy's song, right? Yeah, that was on Diddy's song. But yeah, I think that's all of the comments. I think gonna let me see. I think a lot of the comments was like just underneath the post. And I seen this too. Man goes viral after sharing drawing of what he saw during a near-death experience. So I actually wanted to. All right. I want to just click on the article so we can see the image. But a man named Yusuf Shakur is going viral after sharing something extraordinary, sketches of what he says he witnessed during a near-death experience. Instead of describing it with words, Shakur drew a diagram of glowing spiral-like structure rising above Earth. In his drawing, Earth appears like a giant stage where every person is visible at once. As he ascended, he's huh? Right. As he ascended, he saw souls moving upward through a bright, twisting tunnel, while others watched from higher levels, reacting in real time to events happening on Earth, cheering and welcome newly arriving souls. At the top, he describes a radiant figure stepping onto a balcony so luminous that everyone else felt silent. Every soul bowed. Her first words to him, do not be afraid. Perhaps the most striking detail, thin, silver-like cords connecting every soul on Earth and beyond to a single brilliant source of light. To Shakur, the message was clear. Everything is connected, and that source is love. It says the experience left him with one powerful takeaway. The currency of eternity is love. Whether spiritual, symbolic, or something else, people can't stop talking about it. Yeah, I wish we could. Yeah, that's about as clear as we're gonna get it, Chad. So that we can zoom in some more. So this is what he's. So, uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, let's go back. Let's go into my post, man. I remember sharing that post about the chimpanzees. Yeah, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more so we can kind of better describe this here. So, of course, at the bottom you have Earth, and then above that you have this line of people, row of people. These would be like the new, the new souls, the new, the new incoming souls. And then as you see above that, it says in transit, and then the silver strand is connected. So, I mean, it looks pretty self-explanatory as far as like explaining it, describing it, but I mean, if you want a deeper explanation, I mean, geez, we're reading, we are reading Life in Between Lives still on this podcast here by Dr. Newton. And he speaks about how the reincarnation process is like an airport. So just think of this like an airport, a terminal, and each outlet, each chute, I guess, would be a different airport terminal where I guess you would board the shuttle, board the airplane. So let me put a little background music on. Right. So that's how he was explaining it, describing it in the book. Dr. Newton, he was explaining it how the reincarnation process or the born again process is like an airport, a terminal. So like people would line up, the souls would line up, as you see like right here, they would be like standing in line to be born again or to be reincarnated. And then when it's their time, now it's time for those souls to, come back down to planet Earth here, the third dimension. I'm still learning. I'm unlearning and relearning a lot of different things myself. So I don't want to speak from a place of knowing like I know everything. I'm definitely unlearning and relearning as we go along. So let's start this video over because this MK Ultra business, these cloning centers, cloning machines that they got all over the world, that I'm sure is going to now be made more public with the release of these files and everything. I'm not sure people is dying natural deaths these days. And what I mean when I say a natural death, a normal way of passing over, a normal way of the soul leaving the body, as opposed to someone or some entity trying to harness your soul, your spirit, your mind, or your consciousness, your energy for their own benefit and personal gain. And that's why I said a more natural death. But a lot of these celebrities that we know and have been knowing and have been watching for years, they're not looking the same, they're not appearing the same, they're not walking or talking the same. It's like you really have to question if these people are really dying or if they're just being swapped out in these cloning centers. And for what purpose?
Nah, man. This ain't him. Look. No. They're switching them out, y'all. Look at this. Nah, y'all. They are switching these people out. Something is about to go down.
Right, Soulja Boy.
It's your boy Soulja Boy. My new shoes is out right now.
Look at the new Soulja Boy, huh? Finagle? When did Soulja Boy ever say something like that? Look at this. Look. That's not the same Soulja. In fact,
Right,
Soulja Boy had
shape.
a dimple in his chin. Look at this. Look at this guy. His chin is like square. Look. Bro, what's going on? This guy's even a lot lighter. Look at him. Who is this? Who is this? Have y'all seen Martin Lawrence lately? He just came back after losing a whole bunch of weight, but he don't even want to show his face. Look at him. Look, that's not him. Look, he don't even want to show his face. The camera don't even want to get close to him. Why wouldn't you want to get close to him? Look, they don't even want to look. They show you in the mirror and he's still far away. That's not Martin. Look. Who is that? Something is getting ready to go down because they're switching out all the celebrities. Are y'all not noticing? Are y'all not noticing they're changing out all the celebrities? And then everything that's going on with the weather right now, something big is getting ready to happen. I'm not trying to cause fear, y'all, but I'm showing you guys the patterns. And every day about to switch these people out, something crazy about them come out. All I know is we are in some crazy, amazing times, though. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. They don't even want to show his face. Let's continue to get this shit. Peace in. Oh. Nah.
Yes, sir.
Nah, man.
Yes, sir. This one is wild, chat. This one is wild. And I've always wondered about this before I turned the audio on. I was always worrying about this. One, because you always see massive graveyards, like those big ass graveyards that just kind of be on the side of the road somewhere, and like, you know, it's a cemetery plot because you know what I'm saying, like you see the burials or you see the tombstones, but it's like all of these people in the world, all these people on the planet, and it's like y'all not creating any more graveyard plots, or y'all not burying people in the plots that we already have. Because like, look at all of this space, like look at all of the hold on. First of all, look how wide these graves are apart from each other. I get it. Bodies, quote unquote, caskets have to quote unquote go in here 6 feet deep. You know? But the math is not mathing. The math is not mathing. You don't even need to turn on the sound to really know what's going on. We can just kind of see. And then now with these files rolling out, you know that they've been saying that people definitely been being ground out and fed back to us. So let's turn the audio on right quick. Let's hang tight.
My question is, if they're not building any more graveyards, what are they doing with the bodies? Where are they? The F are they doing with the bodies, bruh? Where are the people?
Where the bodies at, baby?
8 billion people on the planet. 8
and
billion.
We all know
with a B.
Taco Bell meat
150,000
is
people die
hella
each and every
questionable.
day.
That
Where's
shit
all
been
the bodies?
questionable since the 90s.
You gotta
Those
ask
nuggets
yourself
from
these
Burger
questions.
King, them shit's
They're not
stale
building
like
any new
cardboard.
graveyards. What are they doing with all the bodies of the people who are no longer with us?
And I did
That's all
have,
I'm saying, man. That's all I'm asking. If they're not building new graveyards, what are they doing with the bodies, bro?
some other content, some death-related content in relation to a supernatural.
In Baghdad, they found actual pots with traces of electrolyte in it. They can power things, and with
This is
they
crazy.
made
This may not
batteries
be
long time ago in Baghdad.
They're
supernatural,
playing with the weather
paranormal related,
machine.
but
They need it to be
the
cold
fact
right
that
now. The sun is
Microsoft
heating
filed this
up.
patent right here for holographic teleportation. That shit sound weird as hell. Alright, here we go. Some more death-related content. Death doesn't exist and may only be illusion according to quantum physics. Tell me more. A growing theoretical framework known as biocentrism proposes that life and consciousness are not byproducts of the universe, but central to how reality itself exists. From this perspective, space-time and matter emerge from conscious observation rather than existing independently out of it. Supporters point to well-established quantum phenomena such as entanglement and the observer effect, where measurement appears to influence physical outcomes. Some interpretations even reference retro-causality, in which quantum systems seem to blur the normal flow of cause and effect, challenging classical assumptions about time and reality. Within this view, death may not represent an absolute end, but a change in the structure of conscious experience within a broader multiverse. While highly speculative and debated, biocentrism has sparked serious discussion among a physicist, I don't like the way that word looks or sounds, physicist, as someone that stutters. That's a tongue twister for me, and the tongue is not even involved in saying the word. It's just the sounds and the syllables of it. Let's go back. While highly speculative and debated, biocentrism has sparked serious discussion among physicists and philosophers, exploring the deepest links between consciousness, reality, and existence. Here's the source where this information was cited from. Death doesn't exist and may be an illusion according to quantum physics. Wow.
We are in Inglewood, Chicago, right here on 63rd Street, America's first serial killer. If you read this book in Chicago, it's called Devil in White City. It talks about this guy named H.H. Holmes. But H.H. Holmes is considered one of America's first serial killers. I was doing the World's Fair here in Chicago. He was a pharmacist. He married into money. They bought a building. The building sat right here on this corner. And instead of people getting cheap rent, it was actually getting access to his killing field. And so there were fake floors, fake walls, fake hallways. You just walk down the hallway, mind your business. He snatch your ass up and kill you. Or you start suffocating and you don't know why. And that's because he pumping in carbon monoxide into your apartment. Some say he killed 30 people. Some say he killed 66 people. Some say he killed 104 people, which is all terrible as hell. But right here in Inglewood, Chicago, where you get your mail from, is the site of America's first serial killers. Sometimes energies have like places and spaces. So if you ever open up your mail, you feel real weird about that shit, it's because it came from here.
Right,
we do these ghost tours in Chicago, and this is considered one of like the third most haunted places in all of Chicago. We are in Inglewood, Chicago, right here on 63rd Street, America's first serial killer.
I know I was sharing a lot of stuff over here on this page in this group. I started this podcast over on Podbean before I started recording over here, just trying to find my flow, because I'm new to all of this, and you guys know I'm new to all of this. If you've been following me on this podcast, you know I struggle with verbally speaking, public speaking, glossophobia, all of that, social anxiety, all of that. So I struggle a lot with recording content or getting in front of the camera, being in front of the camera, speaking in front of the camera, per se. But I'm working on it, and that's why I'm like still trying to, I'm trying to work out the creases right now. So we can really like start getting into, some stories and some plots, and just different topics and different things and whatnot. I want to screen share some paranormal shows, but I don't know if we're going to get flagged for that, or if you guys are going to be able to see the video with me screen sharing. We may only can hear the audio. I'm not aware of how they work with the screen sharing policies over here, algorithm, just yet. But I would like to screen share, maybe like Prime Video, or like is it the Travel Channel? That's where you have like Ghost Adventures and a Paranormal Caught on Tape, things like that. I might be able to pull some clips up from YouTube to watch some Paranormal Caught on Tape. This is important too. Y'all know how to cord cut from someone, or do you need a tutorial? I got some ties to cut. Sexual encounters called soul ties. You carrying them motherfuckers too? I don't want to do that. I'm straight. Like that. So yeah, it's just my group on Facebook. Shit nobody asked for a podcast. Just, my rants and my opinions about this everyday shit that's going on in the news and the media on my timeline that's come across. Here we go, because I was asking about this a few weeks ago. So let's go. A birth certificate is not proof your life. The birth certificate is not proof your life. I think it should say proof of your life. It's a death certificate. It proves they recorded your legal death and pleaded your estate into a public trust. I'm learning about this birth certificate, death certificate, social security, public trust thing, because it just don't sound right. Like the math, never math to me. But, now that I'm getting older and I'm unlearning and relearning and starting to question everything, I definitely need to go back and do a little bit more research and understanding to better understand. Because this already don't look right. It's just off the imagery, you know what I mean? It don't look right. It look like some fool up shit. All right, let's read the caption. And also, I'm actually having a pretty decent speaking day today, which is good. That's why I'm up here trying to record this content and get this content out, because I am having a pretty good speaking day, like as far as like being in a flow state and being able to speak and get my words and my thoughts out pretty clearly without stuttering and stumbling. So kudos to me. So let's not get hung up on how much we have to read and just get it done, okay? All right. The birth certificate is a death certificate. Damn! Let me see. I think I got something on my soundboard for that. Or maybe I don't. I needed something like you know what I'm saying, like a bombshell. Okay, I don't have that. Okay, let's go. It says a birth certificate is a death certificate, but not of the flesh and not of the spirit. It is a death of judicial innocence and the creation of a corporate decadent. Is that word? Because y'all know I struggle with the English language. If y'all don't know, I struggle with the English language. I do. As someone that stutters very, very badly, I do struggle very, very much with speaking the English language. It's not my native tongue, but it is my first language. Or maybe it's my second language. unincorporated decadent. Let's break it open in F5 plus 4. And I didn't read this post when I shared it over here because I saved it for a time when I knew I was going to be on this type of kind of content, so we can go through this content together. So I shared stuff in this group where I've been saving stuff, again, waiting to go over it in a spiritual aspect, but from a supernatural, paranormal aspect, if that makes sense. Excuse me. All right, so I said let's break it down in a 5F plus form. Number one, for who? The legal you, the straw man. And I was just listening to a lecture on this, because again, I am unlearning and relearning everything as as I get older. So number one, for who? The legal you, the straw man, the birth certificate, I'm gonna skip over that word because we'll be here for the next 3 minutes trying to sound it out. I know how to pronounce it, and I can see it, I can visualize it, and I can hear how it should be said or pronounced, but then when I go to say it, it's like, it's just not coming out like that. So we're going to skip over that. The birth certificate memorializes. Yes. The death of the living estate, sovereign capacity, and simultaneously registers a vessel under foreign jurisdiction. I'm going to stumble over every word because it's a subconscious thing now at this point, because I've been speaking so clear, and now it's like every little sound or syllable, it's going to be like okay, let's start over. The birth certificate memorializes the death of the living estate's sovereign capacity and simultaneously registers a vessel under foreign jurisdiction. That dies. The unencumbered living man or woman, unregistered, unnamed, unsworn, unpledged, it is replaced by a constructive decadent. I believe that's the word, right? Decadent. Probably should look it up. Give me a second. I'm going to look it up on my phone so we don't have to change any windows over here. I feel like I'll lose my place. How do you spell that? Decadent. Or maybe it's... We're going to get the pronunciation right now, because I believe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Where we at? P-E-C-E-D-E-N-T. And it's a movie as well. Decedent. Whoa, I was completely... A decedent is a person who has passed away. Why don't they just say deceased? Or someone who has... Decedent. The English language is so backwards. Oh my goodness. A decedent is a person who has passed away, a term primarily used in legal and estate planning context to describe the deceased person whose assets and liabilities are being managed. The process involves a representative settling the estate by paying final debts taxes and distributing assets to the beneficiaries. And all of this helps me in my own sense because I got some will and estate stuff that I need to deal with, so I need to learn more about. So all of the R&D in the R&D is, it's helpful, it's beneficial. Decedent. Okay, let's go back so now we can read with understanding. Okay. A constructive decedent, a legal fiction, named in all caps, presumed to be the ward of state. And they was talking about that, your signature being in all caps. It's different when you sign your name, your signature, versus you print your name in all caps. There's a difference. Let's read on. The name you think is yours is created by the state, held in trust, treated as an estate, managed by agents, charged commercially. This construct dies to its original freedom the moment it is registered. That's what he was saying on the lecture. He was breaking it down, and he said as soon as your mother signed that birth certificate or you got a social security card, that's when you officially became sold back to the to the corporation of this country. Because when you sign your name, you're now registered as a business. You are created by the state, held in trust, treated like an estate, managed by agents, charged commercially. This construct dies to its original freedom the moment it's registered. Number 2, for what? Trust creation and the jurisdictional transfer. The birth certificate operates as a trust instrument, but not in your favor. It marks the abandonment of dominion, Genesis style, the servants of lawful title, the creation of a cestQ, trust by presumption. Y'all know we're going to look that up because we don't know what that means. That's not English. That's not English. We're going to look that up right quick before we even go any further. What is it? CSTIUQUE. What is that? A CTK. That's how you pronounce it. Can I get the pronunciation? Oh, yeah, see. Oh, little P done fucked up. I wish I could get the pronunciation. Pronounce CSTK. It is an Aramaic law French term. It sounded French, referring to a person who possesses an equitable or beneficial interest in property rather than legal title. It is primarily used in the context of a CTK, a C2K. Is that how you pronounce it? Where we at? Right here. A C2K. Trust by presumption. Let's keep reading. Okay, so they pretty much measure the duration of the trust. The opening of a foreign status account, and it does not certify your life. It certifies a judicial. Is that the word? That's the word, right? Judicial act the creation of a common vessel in dry dock. It is a symbolic death of private right, of unwritten status, of free political capacity, and the state takes usufruct. What is that? Usufruct.
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 Usufruct is the legal right to use, occupy, and derive income such as rent or crops from another person's property without destroying or altering it. Okay. What? The holder, called a usufructionary, enjoys the benefits while the naked owner remains titled. It is temporary, often lasting for a specific term of the user's lifetime.
Usufruct.
That's a usufruct right here. The state takes usufruct. So the state makes money. The state collects money off of the death of someone without altering it or taking another person's property, per se. Where we at? Usufruct. Beneficial use of the title. What kind of death? Legal death. Judicial servants. Not biological, not spiritual, but legal. In legal terms, you cease to exist in the private and are assumed to exist only in the public as a franchise, as a surety, as a debtor. This is why courts, agencies, and banks never recognize the private man. They're operating only with the dead estate managed by trustees, officers, and agents. Where is it written? Trace the paper trail. The birth certificate links to census records, asset inventory, vital records, security registration, social security, trust, corpus designation, Federal Reserve, bilateral via Treasury Direct, DTC/CEDE and company, clearing and custody layer. The original birth certificate of live birth is never given to you. Why? Because it is a title document and you are not the title holder. Unless and until you rebuke the presumption. The way they got this shit all up in here. So what do? Do not fight the friction. Do you sever it from your living claim steps? Disclaimer: the assumed suretyship. Correct the records through affidavit and trust declaration. Establish your role as executor, not decedent. Am I saying that right, Chad? Decedent. Invoke equity and I know how to say the word, Chad. Ecclesiastics. I'm not gonna be able to say it again, just because. But yeah, that word. Demand accounting and removal of hostile trustees. Final rock money interest. Birth certificate is not approved. It is proof that a fiction was born to replace the living. Substitute a mirror mask, and it's wearing your name. The death of your unpledged dominion. But the fire is still in your lungs. As a man will breathe and still can resurrect the record. Damn. So a lot of that I didn't understand. I'm not even going to sit here and story with you guys. A lot of that went over my head. But this is what we're here for, to better understand the mumbo jumbo and the mumbo jumbo. So pretty much, birth certificate is a certificate of death And once they certify you as dead, they collect the benefits off of the property, the estate of the living existence that's now no longer you. Maybe I'm saying it right, maybe I'm not, but again, this death shit, especially here in the West, it's not adding up. The math is not mathing. I don't know why I shared this over here. I guess it was something funny at the end, but we're not going to go into that. Not right now. That's something on genetics. We won't talk about it later on genetics. Let's see. He was killed after exposing him. Somebody just went in there. I'm not sure who went in there.
It was me.
Somebody went in there after you came out.
Oh.
So you think the pink slime in the darkest secret in the food industry? You haven't seen a mortadella factory yet. That name sounds weird. A mortadella factory? Here's what they don't tell you, or in the least of the story, is trying to claim. The processed meat industry is supposedly a cover-up for something way more sinister. Devil's ham, cold cuts, and lunch meat are not just from scraps, but human remains. According to the story, whistleblowers who get too close to the truth don't just lose their jobs. They permanently, they're permanently silenced. They are permanently silenced. Where we at? To protect some giant global operation. Some global operation of imaginal corruption. The factories shown are polished PR videos and are said just to be front operations. What's marketed as clean and tasty is described here as a blend of horrors the public supposedly couldn't handle psychologically. The claim is that the ultimate form of population control, that they're not just poisoning people with chemicals, but literally feeding them the dead to break their spirits and sense of humanity. And that goes in correlation with the other post we watched, where they wasn't building enough graveyards and they was talking about all of the secret recipes and stuff that was in the fast foods and all the this questionable meat at places like Taco Bell and whatnot. Let's keep it moving. Y'all reading books these days? I got this crystal gem class too I'm working on, and I think that's pretty much like the start of the group. We were just sharing some other clips. So I saved some other content to share too. I'm not sure if it was on my phone or if it was on my desktop. But I know every time I see like some content on like some paranormal or like some ghost stuff, I always try to save it so we can come back to it and speak on it or watch some content related to such, so we can talk about it at a later time, a later date. I really think it was on my TikTok film. I think it was on my TikTok. All right. Give me a second. Give me a second, chat. Let me see if we can capture the screen over here on TikTok. So because I believe, hold on. All right, so let's see if we can capture the screen. And it might have been on my other TikTok. I do have one for gaming, but I also have a personal one. I'm looking. All right, give me a second. You know what? Let me just let me go ahead and share the screen with y'all so we can look together. But it might have been on my other TikTok page. It might have been on the other one. Okay, so as long as y'all can see this, see the screen share. Okay. All right, let's take it right here.
That shit weird. I'm gonna say about the Epstein files, right? I'm gonna say this, and everybody's not gonna understand this. They got Epstein confused, right? A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people they're not aware of the reality that we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody too quick to hold on to an idea of somebody else's. Let me tell you what I mean, right? You see him with kids on the internet. This is what people don't understand. The kids was all in white. So I'm on. It was in white. White represent purity, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were young, right? No one touched them. On video, I didn't see anyone touch them, though that could be considered wrong through the eyes of the people that don't know. But what if they energy hijacking, right? What if what they doing, they've been doing this whole time and we don't see it? What if they only told on him because he harnessed enough power to do the unbelievable, the unthinkable, all right? Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. This man that we call Epstein, whatever you want to call him, this name, Jeffrey been here at least 5,000 years. Right? A lot of people don't know this, right? And listen, and Jeffrey know this, right? Let me say this. These cults that have different levels of melon, they have to come together to create the system that's controlling us, right? Because there's two things you understand. Black people, they teach us, we get away from our family, fuck our family, everybody spread it out, we don't have unity. They don't have that problem, right? Because they come together with the same idea, right? Let me tell you about Epstein so you can understand, right? He got arrested, right? But he didn't die until Trump was elected. He didn't go to jail until Trump was running. I don't think you understand, gang. Listen, everybody was at that island because that island harnessed negative, energetic
energy
powers that control this simulation, right? And listen, and you know what I'm saying is true because they asked him, yo, Epstein, would you say you're the devil? He said, I'm the perfect mirror of them. So he understood. Listen, he talked about this reality. He talked about this reality as something that no one can understand. Oh, shit. About the speed of light. The speed of light is really fast, right? But The problem with light is it ain't fast enough to get us out of the universe, right? Listen, I'm still talking about Epstein, but to talk about Epstein, I got to talk about this, right? Because everybody talk about the universe, but we never seen the universe. Let me tell you what I mean. We never seen the universe, because to see the universe, you got to get on top of the universe and look down on the universe, but whoever did that? Nobody. Nobody ever looked down on the universe, right? And everything else in the universe that we can't see is darkness. So that concludes and tells us one thing. Everything came from darkness. And the Bible agreed. The Bible said, God said, let there be light. So God had to be in the dark. Now back to Epstein. They have Epstein where he's the devil. He said, I'm the perfect mirror of him, right? And then he said, they said, yo, where the soul located? He said, let me tell you something. The soul, everything, the powers is dark energy. And it's located in your subconscious mind. He told you exactly where the soul was located. How you do that? Right? Listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people gotta understand this. We can say that Epstein touched kids, right? We can say he didn't. We don't fucking know. The illusion is to hold on to any idea because it's a fucking trick. What I know. Let me tell you this. Even with Diddy, when Diddy was going to jail, they only put out what they wanted you to see about Diddy. You saw all Cassie videos. And then later, you saw all the other videos. They control the media. They control the narrative. They control what you see. Why the fuck are we believing anything they say? Why the world believe in it? Because he's white. Right? Everybody believes it right now. Oh, fuck that thing. Because he's white. But there's no such thing as race. He's black. Right? Oh, I'm white. Oh, I'm black. But back to the story, right? They put all the people together because they have less melon. In order to harness enough power, they need what? More people, right? You need more people. And they need more younger people for what reason? This is why. Because your brain, it becomes logical at the age of 25. So at a young age, if they're teaching these kids how to control their mind, that is the reason to why they got them around, right? Though people may say, they trust them kids. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it could be different reasons, because these people understand energy. They understand energy manipulation. We talk about he's best friends with Trump. We talk about Trump daddy got all the shit from Tesla. We talk about, they understand, right? But back to space, right? Because I'm going to keep it real, back to space. This is all people in the same group, right? Same thing. If I want to go from Earth
Was I not
to the
just
moon,
reading about this?
it'll take me 8 hours, right? If I want to go from Earth to Mars, it'll take me 4 months. If I want to go to Earth to Jupiter, it'll take me 9 years. But after I reach Jupiter, the speed is so slow, I'll be stuck like this. You'll be flying, but you will never go past Jupiter. Right? Understand that? You just flying, you'll never go past Jupiter because the speed of light is not fast enough. But everybody wants the light. The light is not faster than the dark. Right? He knew this. But on this plane of existence, one thing the Bible say, the light of this world is the devil. But then they tell you to follow and worship the light. The light not strong enough for me. I'm too strong for the dark, and I'm too strong for the light. So I use both, right? A lot of people don't understand this.
So
That shit weird. I'm saying about the Epstein files, right? I'm gonna say this, and everybody's not gonna understand this. They got Epstein confused, right? A lot of people know this. A lot of people they're not aware of the reality that we live in, right? Everybody too quick to hold on to an idea of somebody else's. Let me tell you what I mean, right? You see him with kids on the internet. This is what people don't understand. The kids was all in white. So it was in white. White represent purity, right? They were young, right? No one touched them. On video, I didn't see anyone touch them, though that could be considered wrong through the eyes of the people that don't know. But what if they energy hijacking, right? What if what they doing, they've been doing this whole time and we don't see it? And what if they only told on him because he harnessed enough power to do the unbelievable, the unthinkable, all right? Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. This man that we call Epstein, whatever you want to call him, this name, Jeffrey been here at least 5,000 years. Right? A lot of people don't know this, right? And listen, and Jeffrey know this, right? Let me say this. These cults that have different levels of melanin. They have to come together to create the system that's controlling us, right? Because there's two things you understand. Black people, they teach us, we get away from our family, fuck our family, everybody spread it out, we don't have unity. They don't have that problem.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's crazy. And this thing, this is weird, whether this is AI or not. So they said, let's blow it up so we can read the caption. Strange door in Joshua Tree National Park, California. Somebody said it's given some type of supernatural portal.
Awful lot of detail for a prank.
Let's get some sound.
I mean, look at it.
My goodness.
And the crazy thing about it is, at nighttime, it glows.
Yes. And then they said it glows at night.
Now, I'm pretty sure it's probably like a movie plot or something like that. But if it's not, and if people still don't know what it is to this day, I'll probably just stay away from it. It's probably the best thing to do. With the way the world is going right now, I don't put nothing past nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't put nothing past nothing. With CERN and the Orange Man and different realities, all this stuff that's coming.
Well, let's see. It was somewhere else. I had and it's like I'm kind of cautious about what I play and what I share, because when I get ready to upload this video, I don't want them to flag it for anything. You should know they're gonna try. They're definitely gonna try. Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't. Hang on. Let's see. Sorry, my toddler just got up from her little afternoon nap. All right, I think that was all we got over here from this page. See if we can capture some supernatural TikTok. Like that needs to be like at the top of my search.
I didn't just see a fucking hand. You mad or what? You mad I threw that fucking helmet at you? Do it again. Make some noise. Show me you're fucking real, pussy. Fuck your fucking island. Show me. Fucking Satan.
Do you remember that guy who once claimed his entire family were vampires? He showed off sharpened fangs. He demonstrated unervingly fast reflexes, and he insisted that his eyes changed color right on camera. At the time, most viewers dismissed it as a joke, but there's one detail that gives people pause. According to recent claims, there are supposedly more than 1,000 people around the world who identify as vampires. And this story goes much deeper than it seems at first. Back in 1997, a man appeared on a popular TV show claiming he was a real vampire. Naturally, no one believed him. But look at how he appears today. It's as if his body hasn't aged a single day, even though 28 years have passed. And that's not all. There's also a woman who calls herself a vampire and says she was born in 1922. In her videos, she openly asks her followers for help, requesting what she refers to as a red liquid. She has visible fangs, and her stare looks eerily similar to the eyes of that same TikTok vampire. And here's the strangest part. All of these self-proclaimed vampires claim the same thing. They say they were born in the same place, a castle in Transylvania. This location is rumored to be one of the most restricted and heavily guarded places in the world. Some say people who tried to get there vanished without a trace, and others believe the castle isn't just a ruin, but the true birthplace of vampires, and that Dracula himself still lives there. What do you think? Just roleplay taken too far, or a pattern that shouldn't exist? Follow so you don't lose the channel, if you're not afraid to get scared at night. Do you remember that guy who once...
No, silly, too dry.
So I never tell the story because no one ever believes me. And also I kind of question my own sanity. And I'll be like, did that really happen? But I know that happened. I saw a girl's story time on here and it just validated my whole experience because she said this happens a lot in Illinois. So I'm from Chicago, the East Side. And around the time that this happened, I was like 16. I remember just getting my license and I was so excited because I finally got a taste of freedom. I could do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. And I was so excited. But my mom gave me 11:30 curfew. So I was like the type of person who would like wait until the very last minute to leave wherever I was at to try to get home on time at 11:30. So I remember I was just leaving my friend's house and I was almost home, y'all. Like I was like right around the corner from my house. So if you guys are familiar with Chicago, you might know where CVS High School is. So I was like on 87th. I was right by CVS. And then I remember turning left, right? And I turned left and I was driving straight and it was like I said, it was like around 11:30. So it was dark outside and I looked and I saw a humongous animal. Like it was, I don't know if it was a panther or a tiger. It definitely wasn't a tiger. It was like a big, huge animal. And when I say like I almost shit my pants, like I was like I froze in the car. And I was at a stop sign when I looked over and I saw it and he was just walking, And when I stopped, it looked at me and like we locked eyes and then I just kept driving. I was like, oh my God, like I had to get home because I need to make my curfew or I was going to get beat up and I was going to get in trouble. So I was like, let me just try to get home and forget about that. Right. And I was like, I'm going to like tell my mom when I get home, right? And so I got home. My mom was livid because I missed curfew and I didn't even end up telling her. I remember telling my friends the next day and nobody believed me. So I remember like looking up, did an animal escape from the zoo? I found nothing on that. And like I said, like I lived in the city, so it wasn't normal for us to see like huge, ginormous panthers or whatever the case may be, whatever animal that was, it wasn't normal to see stuff like that at all. And I don't know, like to this day, I always think like, what was that? Like, it was so strange. Like, it was such a strange looking animal, like something an animal I've never seen before, an animal I don't even know if it exists. So yeah, y'all, like very, very weird experience. So I never tell the story because no one ever believes me. And also I kind of question my own sanity. And I'll be like, did that really happen? But I know that happened. I saw a girl's story time on here and it just validated my whole experience because she said this happens a lot in Illinois. So I'm from Chicago, the East Side. And around the time that this happened, I was like 16. I remember just getting my license and I was so excited because I finally got a taste of freedom. I could do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. And I was so excited. But my mom gave me 11:30 curfew. So I was like the type of person who would like wait until the very last minute to leave wherever I was at to try to get home on time at 11:30. So I remember I was just leaving my friend's house and I was almost home, y'all. Like I was like right around the corner from my house. So if you guys are familiar with Chicago, you might know where CVS High School is. So I was like on 87th. I was right by CVS. And then I remember turning left, right? And I turned left and I was driving straight and it was like I said, it was like around 11:30. So it was dark outside and I looked and I saw a humongous animal. Like it was, I don't know if it was a panther or a tiger. It definitely wasn't a tiger. It was like a big, huge animal. And when I say like I almost shit my pants, like I was like I froze in the car. And I was at a stop sign when I looked over and I saw it and he was just walking, And when I stopped, it looked at me and like we locked eyes and then I just kept driving. I was like, oh my God, like I had to get home because I need to make my curfew or I was going to get beat up and I was going to get in trouble. So I was like, let me just try to get home and forget about that. Right. And I was like, I'm going to like tell my mom when I get home, right? And so I got home, my mom was livid because I missed curfew and I didn't even end up telling her. I remember telling my friends the next day and nobody believed me. So I remember like looking up, did an animal escape from the zoo? I found nothing on that. And like I said, like I lived in the city, so it wasn't normal for us to see like huge, ginormous panthers or whatever the case may be, whatever animal that was, it wasn't normal to see stuff like that at all. And I don't know, like to this day, I always think like, what was that? Like, it was so strange. Like, it was such a strange looking animal, like something animal I've never seen before, animal I really haven't, but I know that happened. I saw a girl story time on here. 16, I remember just getting my license and I was so excited because I finally got a taste of freedom. I could do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. And I was like, so excited. My mom gave me a letter. So I remember I was just leaving my friend's house and I was almost home, y'all. Like I was like right around the corner from my house. So if you guys are familiar with Chicago, you might know where CVS High School is. So I was like on 87th, I was right by CVS. And then I remember turning left, right? And I turned left and I was driving straight and it was like I said, it was like around 11:30. So it was dark outside. And I looked and I saw a humongous animal. Like it was, I don't know if it was a panther or a tiger. It definitely wasn't. And when I stopped, it looked at me and like we looked and I was like, I'm gonna like tell my mom when I get home, right? So I got home, right? My mom was,
I don't have to tell you what you do when you sit on a toilet, but I'm kidding you not. As clear as I'm speaking to you right now, out of breath, I hear something say, "You're done. Get out of here." And I literally thought someone walked in my front door and I said, "Hello." Oh, so I hear it again. "Get out. You're done." So I got up. It's not like I was there for a very long time. I walked into this kitchen.
I don't care what nobody says. Y'all can get mad, talk shit in the comments. The best duo of all time. I don't care what nobody says. Supernatural is one of the time. I used to sit back and watch these seasons and over again because place. Supernatural was scary, funny, and it had every emotion in it. Sam was the calm dude. Dean was funny, always singing the same damn song in the same damn car. I love this fucking show. I continue to watch it. And if you haven't seen Supernatural, you need to start from season 1 and watch it all the way through. I guarantee your life gonna change. You're gonna be like, I need a friend. I need a brother that I can stick with and stay with, hang out with every day. We can fight crime, fight ghosts, demons, witches, and ghouls, and goddamn skinwalkers together. That's what this show does to you. It makes you believe that you can have a best friend or a brother, like a brother, to the end of time. Thank you very much. Go watch Supernatural if you haven't seen Supernatural. It's an old ass show, but I guarantee you it's gonna be new to you if you ain't seen it, and you're gonna love the show and you can fall in love with it. You're gonna watch it, you're gonna binge watch it with your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, your auntie, your grandma, your granddad. Supernatural. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you've seen it, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't care what nobody says. Y'all can get mad, talk shit in the comments. Sam and Dean, the best duo of all time. I don't care what nobody says. Supernatural is one of the greatest shows of all time. I used to sit back and watch these seasons over and over again because it was my happy place. Supernatural was scary, funny, and it had every emotion in it. Sam was the calm dude. Dean was funny, always singing the same damn song in the same damn car. I love this fucking show. I continue to watch it. And if you haven't seen Supernatural, you need to start from season 1 and watch it all the way through. I guarantee your life gonna change. You're gonna be like, I need a friend. I need a brother that I can stick with and stay with, hang out with every day. We can fight crime, fight ghosts, demons, witches, and ghouls, and goddamn skinwalkers together. That's what this show does to you. It makes you believe that you can have a best friend or a brother, like a brother, to the end of time. Thank you very much. Go watch Supernatural.
Listen to what he just said about having super.
Your problem, mate, is that nobody hates you more than you do.
I know how dead you are inside, how worthless you feel. I know how you look into a mirror.
You carry all kinds of crap. You don't have to, Dean. Hanging in the air.
Wish I couldn't feel anything, Sammy. I am 90% crap.
As you climb the stairs.
On your own, Dean. No. If you bring up that step one more time, I swear. It's killing you. Please.
What am I supposed to do?
Your problem, mate, is that nobody hates you more than you do.
I know how dead you are inside, how worthless you feel. I know how you look into a mirror and hate what you see.
You carry all kinds of crap. You don't have to, Dean. Hanging in the air.
I wish I couldn't feel anything, Sammy.
6 people with supernatural abilities that science can't explain. 6. Mu Thao Lin. Malaysian magnetic man. Sticks metal objects all over his body like magnets. 5. Stephen Wiltshire. Human camera. Draws entire cities from memory after one helicopter ride. 4. Daniel Kish. Human echolocation. Blind man who sees in clicking sounds like a bat. 3. Kevin Richardson. The Lion Whisperer. Lives and plays with adult lions like their pets. 2. Iso Machi. Samurai reflex master. Cuts bullets and pellets mid-air with a sword. 1. Wim Hof. The Iceman. Survives extreme cold. Climbs icy mountains shirtles. 6 people with supernatural abilities that science can't explain. 6. Mu Thao Lin. Malaysian magnetic man. Sticks metal objects all over his body like magnets. 5. Stephen Wiltshire. Human camera. Draws entire cities from memory after one helicopter ride. 4. Daniel Kish. Human echolocation. Blind man who sees in clicking sounds like a bat. 3. Kevin Richardson. The Lion Whisperer. Lives and plays with adult lions like their pets. 2. Iso Machi. Samurai reflex master. Cuts bullets and pellets mid-air with a sword. 1. Wim Hof. The Iceman. Survives extreme cold. Climbs icy mountains shirtles. 6 people with supernatural abilities that science can't explain. 6. Mu Thao Lin. Malaysian magnetic man. Sticks metal objects all over his body like magnets. 5. Stephen Wiltshire. Human camera. Draws entire cities after one helicopter ride. 4. Daniel Kish. Human echolocation. Blind man who sees in clicking sounds like a bat. 3. Kevin Richardson. The Lion Whisperer. Lives and plays with adult lions like their pets. 2. Iso Machi. Samurai reflex master. Cuts bullets and pellets mid-air with...
Yeah, we always calling somebody a demon slayer, but guys say you like a demon.
Oh, look at this.
What's up?